Hello and welcome back to the Dumfries Ice Bowl, where we are into round 9 of the English Mixed Doubles Championships, the third session of the day. My apologies for the lack of commentary for the last few sessions, but I have been on the ice myself playing in the English Seniors Championship. I hope you've had some streaming even without the commentary, and I believe the scores were also being put up from the live game. Apologies also if there was a delay this afternoon in the starting of the streaming, but I hope it was sorted later on during the game. Things have also progressed since we last spoke, and the one thing that hasn't changed is that Anna Fowler and Tom Jagey continue to be undefeated in this championship. They've played 6 games and won 6 games. And if we continue to remain undefeated for the next 2 sessions, that's tonight's game and tomorrow morning, then they will be declared the champions. But they have, we have 2 games left for them to play tonight. One is against Stuart Brand, Angela Wilcox, and that is on the other sheet. The game we are focusing on tonight is one between Harry Pinnell and Mia Andel, and Jackie and Andy Taylor. At the moment, Jackie and Andy Taylor have won 3 games and lie in joint 3rd position. Harry and Mia are still to record their first victory, but over the course of the last few days, their games have been getting progressively better and better, and they have certainly progressed a lot in the last few days in their tactics and playing ability of this particularly specialised discipline of mixed doubles curling. So we're on the first end here. As you can see, Harry and Mia are playing the red stones, and Jackie and Andy Taylor are playing the blue stones. So the full rundown of the positions at the moment is Fowler and Jagey have 6 wins. Brand and Wilcox have 4 wins. Taylor and Taylor and Reese and Martin, who have a bye tonight, have 3 wins. And Pinnell and Andel have no wins. Now Fowler and Jagey, as I said, if they go undefeated, will be declared champions. However, if they lose a game, then any of the next 3 teams, Brand, Wilcox, Taylor and Reese Martin, could become into 2nd place and play in the final against Fowler and Jagey, who are guaranteed a final place no matter what. So we're looking now at the first end of the game, and we have the blue stone at the back is a placed stone, which was obviously put there before the end began, and the red stone at 3 o'clock, as you look at it, I think it looks like it might be shot. It's either that or the one at the back, but there's 2 red stones on the right hand side of the circles and the blue stone at the back of the circles, and we shall probably wait to see till the end of the measure, perhaps to see which of those are lying short. But at the moment, Jackie Taylor tried to come around on the out turn to draw behind the guards out there and draw into the 4-foot. A big draw on this ice across all the sheets. It makes it good for mixed doubles. Stones stay a bit straight to begin with, but then when they catch the draw, they really do cut across in behind the guards. But if you the other opposite is that if you don't get them past you don't speed them early and keep them high, then they dive onto the guards very quickly. So it's almost a case of sweeping before they start to move. So it's coming in. You should open it up a bit and push it up a bit light to that one perhaps. So there's a shot here for Harry and Mia to come round on their own reds, in fact, and perhaps roll off them, but they're trying to go through the gap on the left-hand side where Jackie Taylor just opened up a little gap in the guard at the front of the house. So in fact, Harry and Mia did trick around the other side onto the rune stones there, and it's a bit short. And now Andy is trying to come through and drawing for 2. I presume that ice is for... That looks a little bit of too little ice for what I think he might be doing, so maybe he's trying to push the front blue up. I'm sure the stones draw a bit more than that on that particular patch of ice, but we'll wait and see what happens. Oh, it's coming in quite a heavy way. Obviously I pushed the blue onto the red, which is done in fact. Don't think it's changed much, still 1 blue only. So 1 for the tailor and tailor at the first end with the hammer. So the first stone of the second end here in the mixed doubles at Dumfries, and attempt to draw around the guard. It's quite a bit short. Mia now trying to draw around the other side of the house in towards the circles to see if she can add a second stone into the one that has been placed there already for them. This is staying out a bit wide actually. Yeah, it's staying out a bit wide and running quite straight, that one. It's in the house, it's lying second short, but it may not count at the end of the day. So Andy now asking his wife Jackie to bring round the same hand that Mia just played, the intern hand, to try and get to the top of the 4 foot. And that one also coming up short, so we've got 3 blue guards out the front. I think Harry's going to try and come round that last one that was just been played on the intern and try and see if he can get one in behind the guards which would make him lie 3. So Harry has come into the house there, front ring in fact, still lying 3, there's still nothing else really threatening the stone in the centre. So Andy changing to the other side of the house to try and come through the gap on that side, or to try and push the front blue up. That would push him into the house, even across behind the blue guard, and open up the centre shot. So that's a great shot there from Harry actually. The Jackie previously put her stone on the top of the 4-foot, and Harry just followed the same path through and tapped the blue through to the back of the rings. They're now lying 4 shots. So if they can keep it going, they could end up with a big end here. So if I was still line 4, I didn't quite see that shot because unfortunately it seems that the room that we are broadcasting from is going to be used shortly for a meeting. There is a major ice hockey world tournament starting in Dumfries here on Sunday, tomorrow, and they're having an umpires meeting in this room starting 8 o'clock, so unfortunately I shall have to stop talking and we will have no access to the machine which will switch from end to end, so I'm afraid we'll probably have to stop streaming really. We shall leave we shall probably leave the thing running, so we may see every second end, but we'll not get an update for the scores. Hopefully I'll be back on stream again before the end of the game. But I'm going to try and stick around here until the end of this end, because this is looking a very interesting end here from the Pinland Angel duo. They put a guard up there. So Andy, Jackie have got to try and find a way through to the button to take a shot or cut down the scores for Pinland Angel. So we shall be here for another few minutes and then I shall have to disappear. So it's the Taylor's last shot on his way. And he's going he's coming through the gap. He's looking at the front one. He's not good to the last shot though, but he is line second shot. So he's cut down in the moment. The Pinland Angel score to 1, and we're going to get another shot in here. Can we get to the blue? That would look difficult. He's going to go for it though. Good for him. He's going to try and run the blue through the house. I'm not sure how much she can get to that at weight without pushing onto her own red, pushing onto her own red at the back of the forefoot. So this will be an interesting to see what happens with this one. As this will be the last one we'll see for a short time with commentary. But I shall flick the screen to the other end, and you should be able to see the third and fifth ends, and hopefully we'll be back before the end of the game. So just watch this last stone here. Harry seemed to indicate it was a bit wide there. It's coming down now. It is a bit wide actually. And no, it didn't quite get it. So just one red stone for Pinland Angel. And sorry to leave you for the moment, but it's bye for now and back later on. Hello. Well, actually, I'm here back on stream again. They decided I was actually very quietly sitting in the corner, commentating behind a screen, and therefore I could be allowed to sit in the room there at the far end, and I will still be continuing with the commentary then for the rest of this game. I just put up, I think, the score. I haven't put the score up for the last end. It was 1 for Harry and Mia. So it's 1. Oh, one shot all after 2 ends, and we've got obviously the blue stone from the back of the forefoot has been pushed back by Mia with her first stone, and Harry now coming to one at the back of the. That's another good shot. I like the face of that one at the back there. So looks like the red line 2 again. Jackie Taylor going to go up and try and come to the one in the button, which would leave her lying shot. Yes, as I said, there's a World Under 20 Ice Hockey Championship taking place here. I've just seen earlier on to the Japanese team, Estonia team. Under 20 Division 2 Group A. So if anyone knows what that's all about, I'm sure you can pass on the information to others. I imagine that there's a Division 1 elsewhere, and probably 2 or 3 groups in Division 2 trying to get promotion up to Division 1. This is certainly the second time I've known there's been an ice hockey competition on here in Dumfries. They play, obviously not in the curling ring, but through in the main ice arena. This one from Jackie's coming a bit heavy. She's coming to the back one, and she's just going to lie there again. So she's now lying second shot. I think we're going to get one in the middle there from Harry. Harry and Mia now reverting, should we say, to having somebody in the head, holding the brush. It was commented earlier in the week. A lot of teams don't do that, but it can be quite a difficult art to master. And I think the young couple here have decided that they should have somebody in the head to make sure they get the line of the stone correct, and then they can sprint up from either end to sweep it. Although Mia's just standing there waiting for Harry's presumably to jump up and sweep the stone in. She's obviously judging the line from this end, and it's looking a bit wide. So maybe he's right the brush, or maybe the ice was wrong. That's wide and a bit heavy again. It's actually falling Jackie's stone down, so he's coming back to the back of the house, and he's felt to put it behind the one in the middle, so the double is not on for Jackie really, and me and Harry now lying 2 again. Jackie's just throwing her stone down the same line as the last few stones. This one looking a bit closer to the shot in the middle. If it comes far enough, it's past the guard, past the second guard. Has it got the legs to get here? And he's sweeping hard, but no, I think it's still one shot for Pinland. The red stone there is still the shot. And now it's going to try to put a guard up to prevent the Taylors getting their next stone into the stone in the button, which will in fact be their last stone of the end. So this is Harry and Mia's last stone of this end. The line 1, a little guard up at the front to keep that 1 and go into a 2-1 lead. So a bit wide of the line, perhaps. Still a good shot, good weight. It does narrow the gap down for Andy to come through with his last stone here. And the way the ice is drawing, it's quite a tricky shot. If he does put any weight on it, he's going to stay a bit straighter. So he's taking ice at the edge of the 8 foot. And presumably just playing it just slightly more than T weight to make sure he moves the red stone back and picks up 2 shots. In fact, he has put the weight on and it's staying out. And oh, it's 1 red. Is it just still the 1 red? Yeah, I think it's just still 1 red there for Harry and Mia, making it 2-1 after 3 ends. So a low scoring start to this game. And the Taylors choosing to make an early decision to go for their power play. Most teams wait till the second half of the game before making the power play once they decide how the game is going and see how the situation is developing. It's quite early, it's only 2-1, so it's an interesting decision now to go for a power play. Obviously thinking they can maybe pick up a big end and go into half-time situation with a 2 or 3 shot lead. So let's see how this works out. Because Taylor and Taylor had the hammer choice, then they have the decision when to play the power play in their name. There's still 1 power play to come, which will be called by Pinnell and Andel when they have their last stone hammer in one of their ends. So Andy watches this coming down here from Pinnell and Andel. It's a bit light. Useful to be right round the guard or even to push the guard up into the house. That was a bit light, that one, so it means that Taylor and Taylor now have 2 corner guards and they'll no doubt try to push all over and right round behind onto the face of their own shot. which is just what they've done. So you now have 2 blue stones in the circles behind the corner guards, and we're going to have a similar shot from Harry to come around behind the corner guard to get past the front blue and get in behind the front blue and close to the shot stone on the right. The other game on the ice between Fowler and Jagey and Brandon Wilcox. Fowler and Jagey score singles at the first 2 ends. They are still playing their third end. And the shot there from Harry, which didn't quite get far around as he wanted to get, a bit short in weight. And he's come a bit just on the edge of the circle, so not really very useful where that was lined up in the fact. I don't think he will be able to use it at all. We'll see if Taylor and Taylor decide to put it a little bit round, or they could in fact take the play over to the other side of the house, split the house and take the tension of Harry and Mia away from the stones on the right. But it's just coming into middle. And that is and Harry's looking at a shot there which would be a hit and roll off the centre one across the right hand side. In behind the cover. He just worked out which hand to play. So he was playing the out turn, hoping to come on to the right hand side of the blue stone as you see it, and roll across behind the corner guards. An interesting the choice there by Andy and Jackie Taylor to put one in the middle there. I mean, they have split out a little bit, but it'd probably be a good idea to play the other hand and put one across to the other side of the rings. They do have last stone. They have got 2 stones in the house. They could have 3 stones widely spaced. But this one does give Harry the chance to hit and roll across. It's a bit wide, I think. It's on the wrong side. He's got to run wide and miss it altogether. Dear, just a bit wide, maybe a bit heavy. But a bit offline there, so things looking good at this end so far now for the Taylors. That's made the situation even more interesting now. Now we've got another guard out the front. And if Harry can just play a gentle shot, I don't think he needs to play any weight in this one. He's got to be careful not to be too over eager to get the stone out. He just needs to get at the back of the rings maybe if he gets the right angle on and the roll across. So he's got to make sure he sticks around. He hit the blue, and to get to the right hand edge of it, he needs to be a bit slower. Get to the right hand edge and roll across behind the guard that's just been played. Stone's on his way, and me, I think it's always a bit wide again, is he? Is he a bit wide again? He needs to control this line here. No, he's coming in. It's a lot slower, in fact. He's just wrecked in the guard. That was a much better weight, that shot. And a much better weight, that shot, but obviously just didn't take quite enough ice for that weight, and wrecked in the guard. Opened up a bit. But the tailor's now lying 3. With 2 stones of theirs to play and 1 of Mia's. So it looks like the moment the power play is actually working for the tailors, although one of the one shot is used the actual fact of the positioning of the original position of the stones. Like here on the other sheet next door, that Anna Fowler having just the top of the screen, just as off the top of the screen, having a loud shriek there about sweeping. So it's obviously still playing the third end there. So Penland and Taylor and Taylor are putting it into the house, and tricky for Mia. She's got 4 stones to play against. She needs really to get 1 into the button behind those 2 centre stones. She's taking maybe not enough ice. Maybe she's going for a hit here to try and hit the front 2. She's on her way. I think it must be a draw because Harry's not really checking the line of the stones there. It's got a bit of running on it. I think all she do is just punch the blue up a bit, and I think that's still, well, possibly maybe 3rd shot. Certainly 4th shot, but it might just be 3rd shot. But I think Andy may take the chance to hit this red stone now. To take a 5. So the power play's worked for the tailors this end. So far they've definitely got 2, maybe 3, and chance here to go for 5. So the stone from Andy on his way, trying to take the red out. Is he going to take it out? It looks like a good shot from Andy there. That's a good shot, rolls across. And that's a big 5 end there for the Taylors. So that takes them to lead 6 shots to 2. It's a shame there for Harry and May. They didn't quite get their shots in the right positions in that end. Didn't quite get the line right on Harry's last shot, the takeout. And that's a 5 for the Taylors after 4 ends. Is now 6-2. In the other game, I've just transferred over to the other game between Fowler and Yegi and Brandon Wilcox. In the other game, Brandon Wilcox took a 4 at the third end and are actually leading 4-2 at the moment. And they're lying shot in there with a chance of get everyone the blue ones there and rolling across to make access to that shot very difficult. So ignore the score at the top of the screen. That's for our featured game. The score in this game is Brandon Wilcox, the yellow 4. Fowler and Jaggy, the blues 2. I'm not sure if that was a shot which Stuart was calling. I thought he was going to call the hitting the blue, but maybe they decided just put a guard up. I think Tom's now going to try and play a run back double on the two yellows. No hitting the front yellow would still produce the double and leave them lying 3. Slightly wrong, of course, and you got your back blue one, so quite a risky shot. Tom's experienced curler began his curling at Alexander Palace in London, where we used to play curling in the early to mid-90s. The shot's coming down now. It's looking not bad. Maybe curling a little bit too much. It's curled a little bit too much. Come across. But it's opened up the shot stone though, and well, yeah, there's second, third and fourth shots there for Fowler and Jaggy. It's just a case of trying to get rid of that yellow one in the middle. So Brandon Wilcox trying to work out what the best way is to stop that happening. Well, I think that was definitely come too far. There's meant to be a guard at the front. Come too far, leaves a fairly straightforward double on the two yellows to leave Fowler and Jaggy lying at 4. This should be a fairly routine shot for them. This is only the fourth end of this game, so it's quite a slow game in this case compared to the one on the next sheet, who have now started their fifth end. And in fact, Fowler, Jaggy, Brandon Wilcox have still got their 4-minute break, which comes after the fourth end. Between the fourth and fifth end, halfway through the game, there's a 4-minute half-time break. Oh, that's actually a bit tight again, I think. You've got to keep it going, Anna. Oh, just not enough. It's a bit tighter, and it's left the Yellowstone still lying there. A chance to hit the blue at the front and roll behind the guard and lie 2, which would leave Anna with a draw to the button, but it still leaves them 4-3 down. And it could be after this shot or after the end 6-2 down. So let's wait and see if Stuart can get this hit and roll behind the cover and force a one at a maximum out of Anna. So Stuart's draw is coming down. It's actually going to hit quite straight. Luckily just missed the back one. So there's still a double on there. If that's all they're going to do, there's still a double on there. slightly more difficult, less straightforward. I think it's Tom going to come back in quite tight ice there. I mean, they need to get half the stone, and if that's the ice we're using the last time, they were tight both times. So they need to be hitting the right half of the stone. The nose is no good in this case, and too little of the stone, they'll just drive the yellow back onto yellow, and I jam it. So it's a delicate angle to require to push the two yellows out of the house, and they need a bit of force to try and get them both out, because they both have to go right into the house to bring into play the blue stone at the top left of the circles. So this is for the firm shot from Anna. I can hear shouting from here in the commentary booth. So it needs a lot of hard sweeping. It's looking not bad from Tom. Oh, that's a great shot from Anna, yes. What a great shot to finish that end off and pick up a 3. That's why they are top of the table at the moment on 6 wins and no losses, and that gets them back into the game again. Gets them into a lead of 5-4 after 4 ends, and they're off the 4th end break. And we'll switch back now to our featured game, Pennell Andal against Taylor. And they're playing their 5th end up to the far end of the rink. And it looks like there's a blue stone lying shot. And that's just opened up a bit for Pennell Andal to try and run the red onto blue. Run that red, as Harry's pointing out, they run the red onto blue, pick up 3, and then, I think that's all they would get. The blue at the top left is out counting, I think, the red at the top left. But again, run back the red onto blue and stick around and you get 3 shots. Stone coming down looks a bit wide again from Harry. He's going to miss it altogether. He's not even getting the red in, no. So a bit of a wide shot there. And you can now stick up a guard again and stop that shot being tried again. Difficult to tell from up here whether the last shot of Harry's was the wrong ice or if he actually played it wide of the brush. Still learning their craft in the game of curling. Never mind just in mixed doubles, learning their craft in curling as a game. The ins and outs can take a long time to learn. And even those of us who've been playing it for far longer than we wish to remember, I mean, this is actually looking to play the shot which Harry was trying to get. And that is an interesting shot from Andy, because he's just taken out his own shot stone and left Harry and me lying 1 stone at the back of the house. I'm not at all sure what he was trying to do there. At 6 shots to 2 up, lying 1, he could easily put a guard up and made sure that he took the 1. But now, in fact, he's given me a chance, if she plays a shot down that line, to lie 3 and pick up a 3. It's a very strange shot there from Andy Taylor. I'm sure there's a good reason for it. up in the bar or in the commentary box, it's always easy to criticise, but every curler's different, has their own mind and their own idea of playing the game. And we can only comment on what we think as regards what we would play. To me, I'm playing a hit, I think, on this blue stone, try and drive the blue back through. At 4 shots down, it's more important for her to try and pick up a big end here. Again, she's got to be careful she doesn't drive the blue back onto the red. Harry's looking intently up the line of the stone. Is it actually heavy enough? It's looking very good. It's looking very, very good indeed. That's going to come right through the gap in the middle, and that is a great stone there. It's a great stone from Mia. Super stone gives them 3. And they're looking at the front stone, and I think it's just 3 shots. 3 shots. That's a great stone there from Mia. And that, I think, was a bit of a giveaway from Andy. I think he could have certainly stolen 1 quite easily there. But instead he's given away 3, and we're back to 6-5 after 5 ends. Oh, and Mia now, after that great shot of hers at the last end, just played that attempted draw into the button a bit heavily. It's gone out the back of the house. So a bit of adrenaline flowing probably through her after that great shot. And needs to calm down and just think about the shot she's playing. But no real problem, apart from the fact that it means that Jackie Taylor or Andy Taylor, whoever's playing the first stone of the end, can get his shot into the button, into 4 foot in behind the centre guard. Certainly the commentary games that I've been commenting on, this is actually proved a very difficult shot. It shouldn't be. It's a shot you play for your draw, the shot at the last stone draw at the start of the game, and you should know the ice for it. And the weight, I mean, that was woefully short there. It is a shot in play, but it's not quite where Andy wanted to come up to, and it gives Harry a chance now to draw into the button, to the stone at the back of the house, and lie frozen on that blue stone. And that's a better shot. That's a good shot, right in. That's line shot now. So he's come right in, perfect weight. A little bit wide, but that's a pretty good shot in there. Means that with no hitting out yet allowed. Oh yes, we are. We're in the 4th stone of the end, so It would be possible for Jackie Taylor to hit that red out. But I don't think Andy was looking at that. It looked like he was just trying to draw in against it. So in fact that one was short as well and is left a guard on the stone of Harry and Mia. They're now trying to come around the other side, same kind of weight, play the same shot and get one in the similar place as the other side of the 4 foot. Well, in fact, that one also came up a bit short. I don't think he was trying to guard it. That also came up a bit short, but it's got a problem now for the Taylors to try and get a blue stone into the centre of the circle there. I think there's probably a better chance on the right hand side. Look at it. There still is a draw round there. Going the left hand side, he seems to want to play backswing weight, perhaps to push the red back, but he's got to really get past the guard at the front by nothing. And get across to the right hand side of the red stone and flop off into middle. So Jackie's playing the shot and he's staying in the head with the brush, obviously feeling it requires a bit more confirmation of our line. He's now dashing off up to help sweep it, which means he'll lose the line, and presumably Jackie will be measuring, checking the line from the back. Stone has been played as on his way, and it's looking not bad, but is it going to get to the inside edge? That's good. Just push the red onto blue. Good, push the red onto the blue. Oh, that's just made it even worse now. So Harry and Mia really stuck into that blue stone there. It's difficult to see how that red stone can be moved, and they're going to put a guard on just to make sure it can't be moved. I think actually in this case, there's no real way that red stone's going to be going very far without the blue stone behind it going even further. And it may be an interesting decision here to tank around the other side and get a second stone in the circles there. I don't think the red is in any great danger from a blue stone, and this is a run back from the very front blue, which itself would be worth seeing. But maybe a more experienced player might have tried to draw around the other side on the in-turn and just can pass the guard. This one's certainly doing its job what he wants to do. It's guarding up that side. Quite far out, but it's certainly stopping any attempt to hit the red. And now will the Taylors decide to come round the right hand side of the in-turn? It doesn't look as they're looking at it. It looks like Andy's pointing at the blue out there to try and run the blue back. So they went for the run back. In fact, they really just left the guard up there. And by pushing the blue across, they've actually guarded both sides of the draw around there now. There's probably still, in fact, it's probably more dangerous now to Harry and Mia because the strike down onto the red is now visible. And really need to try and stop that one if you want to try and steal a single shot, get back to equality at 6-all. So if they can just block up the straight through hit here onto the red, then they should get away with getting the one stone from this end. So May was a bit wide with that guard there. It has come into house, but it's not really going to be. I think it's lying fourth short at the moment. And you're now going to try and come through there onto the red and take it out. Stone is on its way. Jackie's not going out to try and sweep it. Andy presumably is following it up. It's also staying a bit wide. That's wide as well. They're going to get a lucky wick. Oh, that's ridiculously bad luck for Harry and Mia. Oh, that's very unfair. The option's dead there for Andy Taylor. Gets a stone in to take a one with his last stone, but it's almost like a steal that, the way he came in and took the shot there. Anyway, Taylor 7 and Fiddle and Andals 5. So here we go, in 7 of this 9th round game in the English Mixed Doubles Championship. The last game that Harry, Pinnell and Mia Andal will be playing because they have a bye in the morning session. Andy's coming round there again, the same draw, but a bit heavier this time, but that's a good shot there this time. Comes into the short stone at the back of the forefoot and nudges back a little bit. Oh, Mia's just hit the handle, I think, with a brush there accidentally. And obviously she's now going to try and follow that stone round that Andy just played. So draw round to the button. I mean, this is actually their third game of the day. We've had 9 sessions over 3 days. with another session tomorrow. And Pillandandle are the first team to finish. They've had 3 games on Thursday, 2 yesterday, and 3 games today. So it's a long schedule we have here, a double round robin for the 5 teams. So nothing really has changed in this head in the last few stones. We've now got 4 guards out the front. Andy Taylor's blue stone is his first shot at the end. Is still there as the short stone in front of the red stone, which is placed there before the start of the end. So it's still a case of Harry Pinnell trying to come round onto the face of blue, and that's not a bad line and path. Very slightly wide actually. The weight is pretty good, but it's going to just stay out wide, is it? Yes, that's a great weight control from Harry there, but just a little bit wide. And it still leaves Taylor and Taylor line 1. There's a great shot come in there from Jackie Taylor. Comes right in there, rolls off thread and lies 2 shots. That's a super shot, and really, yeah, Harry and me have got little they can do here. Yeah. Because that one just skimmed past the guard. I mean, I don't know what they can do here. They could try and drive the front blue at an angle into the back blue, but that's going to require to come past that guard by pretty much nothing at fairly express weight. And they probably lose the back one and the shooter as well. So it leaves us at line 1. The stone on the right hand side of the 4 foot. But I don't think, well, they may be trying that. But a lot of ice, they're going to try a rocket ship down there. So it's probably going to maybe a hit and take out to try and reduce the numbers from 2 to 1. Stone's on his way. Me moving across to check the line. But I think is wrecked on the guards, is it? Yep, it's just, gets a wick off the front guard, and so it just misses that one there. So the tail's line 2, and I think a guard at the front would make them certain to take a 2 here. That'd be 9-5, and that would be after 7 ends, and then it's a case of whether Harry may decide to play a last end to try and get 4 or 5 back again. The really why they shouldn't do. This is mixed doubles. Lots of strange things happen in the scores as people try and chase an end or try to avoid losing a big end. They can quite often easily lose a 4 or a 5 to turn the game around. But we'll see what happens here with Andy's last stone of this end. Well, it's coming quite far, so it's not line 3, but it's no easier now for Mia to reduce that count from 2 to 3, or 2 to 1, or 2 to 0. I think this could probably be a 2 for the Taylors. If she tries to hit the front blue and runs it straight back, then obviously she's going to lose a 3 because the blue will go into red. So yeah, that shot from Jackie Taylor, which came in to lie the second stone in the white area in the middle, is certainly one that's killed its end for Harry and me, I think, in this case. And that one ran wide. That's 2 blue stones. That makes it 9-5 for the Taylors over Harry and Mia. Are they going to carry on? It looks like it. It looks like they're going to play. Oh, no, they're shaking hands. So that's the end of the championship for Harry Pinnell and Mia Andel. It's not been a successful one for them, but I'm sure they've learned a great deal about the world of mixed doubles. And it's good to see them coming up here to play, and also the support of the parents have come with them. So they now go off back home for a good rest and no doubt a good Christmas. And then in February, as I said a couple of days ago, they go off to Grenoble to represent England in this International School Sports Federation Winter Sports Games in Grenoble and mixed doubles. They have 3 or 4 games in the middle of the week, and then they have a chance to play mixed curling with curlers from different countries. Lorna Rettig, who lives out in Switzerland, is going to be their coach out in Grenoble, and so we wish them all the best, and hopefully we shall See them back here again in future years to try and improve the record here at the English Mixed Doubles Championship. Meanwhile, we'll nip over to the other game which is going on the ice, which is between Fowler and Yege and Brandon Wilcox. I'll leave the screen up there at the moment, and I'll try and find out the score and get your score on the screen for you. Seems to be 3 blues lying there, which are the Yege Fowler stones. And they're wondering what to do. It looks like this might start off as a power play end. The guards moves across, and the 3 stones to side the sheet here. But they're going to put 11 just at the front there. Tempt Brandon Wilcox to suppose drawing the shot behind the guard. Let's see, I'll just go over and I'll check the score. So the score in this game here is Brandon Wilcox 5, Fowler and Yege 5. Brandon Wilcox took one at the 5th end. This is 6th end they're playing. Brandon Wilcox took one at the 5th end, so the hammer is with Fowler and Yege. They're lying 3. I think the last was an attempt to lie 4, which came out well short. Well, it did guard the stones, so now Brandon Wilcox is trying to draw around behind that centre guard to make it difficult for Fowler and Yege to use it, but that's going to be a bit short, is it? Angela's working really hard there. Stuart urging him to keep going. I think it's possibly a second shot. Certainly it's not first shot. The first shot is a blue at the back here. It could well be second shot, which means that they probably have to get rid of it to try and get more than one. Probably can't see more than a third or half the stone at the far end, and they've got to be careful they don't then drive it onto the back blue. Yes, I think as they realised that she was quite happy to go for it. I think they realised the situation that it's quite difficult to see what's actually happening. See the yellow. They now have a good study at it because they could decide what to do now. Tom go back up to see what he thinks he can see from the far end. I'm not sure if he's lined up right there, but he's yeah, because if they get angles wrong, then they will jam at the back blue. But they could jam it between the gaps between the blues and left, and even though the shooter would roll out, they pick up 3 stones. This is the kind of shot which champions have to do. We saw 2 ends ago, Annie making a great shot to get her 3, to get right back into the game. So she won't want to lose anything this end, and they are lying the 1, so maybe 2. So how many does she want to get? I think she should go for the front yellow. She's got quite a wide arc to thread the stone through, but and they're using curling, stones seem to have magnets in them, and jams become almost inevitable sometimes. So let's see what happens here. Okay, the stone on its way. It's the only game on the ice now. It's coming. That's not bad. Is it going to hit the yellow? It is. It's going to go through the gap. Oh, come on. Oh, we can't sweep it yet. Oh, no. I think she's put Brandon Wilcox in for one shot. I think that looked at 1 yellow to me. So that's a bit of a disaster. So now they go to play the 7th end. Well, they're 1 down, they've got the hammer, but obviously they had the hammer the last end, it didn't work. That's going to be just a little wide. And she got too little of the stone she was trying to hit, and didn't get it far enough across the house. So the yellow stone's going out the front, which means that the yellow scored at that end. And generally speaking, the team which wins the end, the team which loses the end has a chance of keeping the hammer. And so it's now 6-5 for Brand and Wilcox after 6 ends. Stuart Brown with the first stone on this end, bringing the stone right around. That's a good shot onto the stone at the back of the forefoot. Tapped it back a little bit, so maybe a little bit heavy, but gives them some room to work with. And certainly Tom can now, or Anna can now come round and lie on top of the yellow stone there. And that's a good stone for Anna. Again, just tapped the yellow back, so still safe because it's not the 4th played stone yet. So Stuart will be trying to draw one in, just to the left of the blue stone there, which will lie short or very close second shot. And that was very unlucky there for Angela Wilcox. She came down, beautiful line down the centre of the circle, just a little bit too heavy, just rolled through to the back. So it's still one shot line for Fowler and Jagey, and they've got toppers users to follow that stone that Angela just played and come down lie 2. So a shot coming in here from Tom, and it's pretty good, lies 2 shots, but there's a little nest there for Stuart, who can follow that stone in and basically lie fairly secure in his in that nest there. There's always a danger of playing the shot which Tom played, that he could leave a little pocket for Stuart to come in and sit in, which becomes always impossible to move. In fact, it's Angela throwing this stone, so it's obviously not the last stone of their team for this end. So it's Angela Wilcox throwing this stone, trying to get it into the pocket there in the centre of the circle. She just played the shot in the last stone she played to the back of the 4-foot. This one is actually looking a bit wide at the moment, but is it long enough? It's just coming in there. Yes, shooting hard, and it's, well, it's... I think it's actually possibly not the shot. I think it's because I had to be swept, it didn't quite get the draw at the end, and so there's a good opportunity now for Fowler and Jagger to hit the yellow and roll across, and the back 2 yellows, at least one of them will go as well, so they could end up lying 3 after this shot. So that one from Tom Jager didn't quite bend as much as I think they thought it would, and and I thought it would. I went to look at it from behind in the bar above, and yeah, it stayed wide. And who's lying short? Well, Stewart's now having to play a heavier one. He'll be home to the same shot and give it a bit more. Oh, and that's pretty good there. So, Tom look at coming in around the other side now. This is the last stone of the end. And he needs to go round here. Oh, that's just tapping the blue on the left end, but that's a very tricky shot because you could end up. I think the shot is possible, as Tom said. They're only going to get a one, and they're going to have to go into the last end all square, or they're going to lose one here. Difficult to see who's lying short. I think it's the blue on the right. Looking at the amount of purple you can see on the outside of the stones, I think it's the blue that's on the right that looks like it's lying short. But certainly the yellow on the left is lying second shot. There's a very delicate draw right in the button here from Anna without disturbing her own blue stone. So in this particular picture you can see all 11 stones that have been played or placed so far. So you got all 12 stones in play at the end of this end and all of them down the centre line. I have a feeling we may end up with a power play next end if we can. This is coming in from Anna. Tom's got to sweep it hard, but does he need to get past the front guard? He's got to get past the front guard. He's past it, but he's got to be careful now to knock the other one. And I think, oh, well, that's a great shot, but is it enough? Maybe it's just the one. I think that's probably just one shot there for further in Yegi, but we'll have to wait and see till they put the score up. Yes, they go for a power play. So it must have been one for Fowler and Yegi because Stuart's just calling a power play. So 6 shots all after 7 ends. And Fowler and Yegi need to win this game to maintain their unbeaten record and to avoid the prospect of a final tomorrow. And if Brandon Wilcox were to win this game, we'd have a situation in where Brandon Wilcox played Taylor and Taylor tomorrow, and that could be the game which would decide if who of them goes to the final, should Fowler and Yegi lose this game tonight. If they do win, they'll have 7 points, and Brandon Wilcox and Taylor will have 4 points each. And although they are 3 games behind, they still have to play the last game because they have to be undefeated and 2 games in front to avoid a final. So this last end coming up now is going to decide the travel plans for a lot of people tomorrow, if nothing else. Sorry, I forgot to change the cameras there, and you're probably shouting at me, change the cameras, change the cameras. So I've done that now, and we had a power play set up by Brandon Wilcox. That's why I've got the yellow stone to the left-hand side of the circles, and the blue stones in the front of it as a guard. Further in Jaeger then threw up a centre guard. Brandon Wilcox tries to draw in behind it, and then Phil Jaeger tries to draw in as well, so that's the blue stone just above the A in Hardy. So still the situation that was set up at the start of the end is in play, with the yellow stone on the 8-foot, 12-foot boundary. So at least we know there should be an extra end in this game. It's 6-all, so whoever scores will be the winner. And obviously it does affect what happens tomorrow. Stu, Angela coming around the other side, and they're trying to split that one in. And they've just not got it in. I think maybe they might have nudged it, but they are going to try and draw around now. So Tom's going to try and draw through that gap, over the R and the D of Hardy, into the circles, and hopefully in a position which makes it difficult for Angela or Stuart to get rid of. So tense finish here tonight on this game. It's a repeat of the first round game which these two teams had when it went an extra end. As a measure in the 8th end, and then Fowler and Yege stole in the extra end to win the game. And obviously the Brian Wilcox combination causing Fowler and Yege a bit of trouble in this competition. That one has come through, but I don't think it's enough. I think it's still a yellow stone lying there. On the left, it certainly is. The blue stone's not quite far enough in. Probably half a stone to a stone with too short. That's a shot right round there. Great shot, top of the 4-foot from Angela Wilcox. Tom J now to move that one and lie short, move it and still lie. And if he can just hit it on the nose and lie, then he will block the entrance into that centre. And if he rolls away, of course, it means that Brandon Wilcox can do the same shot. And Brandon Wilcox do have the last stone in this end. Tom sliding out now with the shot. I think it's a fairly rapid shot. He's going to try and hit it. Possibly barrier weight. Oh, it's shooting off hard. I can hear from up here. It's going to wreck. It's wrecked on the guard. Oh dear. That's not good. It means that the Brandon Wilcox now put a guard up there. And it gets tougher and tougher now for Fowler Yegi to win this game. And that looks like a pretty good shot coming in there. Has a very good guard. There is perhaps a draw around to there. I'm not sure if there's a draw through that gap to there. That looks very, very tight. There's not really a blue stone available to push up either, I don't think. Well, there's a blue, yellow, blue there, but that has to be a fairly firm shot, and by the time you hit 3 stones at angles, then the momentum on the last stone would be much reduced, and we'd have difficulty pushing the yellow back, perhaps. I think it's what they're going to do. They're going to try and open up those blue and yellows, and even if it leaves the single blue available for the last shot. Looking at it. Blue onto yellow into blue. So this will be their last chance to keep their unbeaten record. And if they fail to get this shot, it means we're in for a final tomorrow, which will be held at 1 o'clock, and hopefully we'll have commentary on the web streaming at that time. Tomorrow morning's last session game is at 9 o'clock, when I will be playing in the seniors, so we'll have streaming but probably no commentary of the vital last session, in which the featured game will almost certainly be Brandon Wilcox against Taylor and Taylor. Shots coming down now. Am I spoken too soon? Oh, so close there, so close. So a victory for Brandon Wilcox there with 2 at the last end. So if Highland Jig have lost their unbeaten record, we now have a final in prospect tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. It will be against either Brandon Wilcox or Taylor and Taylor. The situation being that we have Fowler and Jig on 6 points, but guaranteed to be in that final. Brandon Wilcox currently have 5, and Taylor and Taylor have 4, and they play each other tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. The situation being that obviously Brandon Wilcox have 5, Taylor and Taylor 4, and so a win for Brandon Wilcox would put them in the final. A win for Taylor and Taylor would mean that they would each have 5 points, and both teams will have beaten each other in one of the round robins. In that case, the decision, or to who would actually get to final, will go down to draw shot challenge scores, which are the average of all the last stone draws played before each and every game of the competition. Currently, the 2 draw shot scores are Taylor and Taylor 111.7 centimetres and Brandon Wilcox 118.9 centimetres. So the draw shot challenge tomorrow morning will be critical as to who will actually have the benefit of going through to the final if Taylor and Taylor beat Brandon Wilcox tomorrow. So hopefully tomorrow we shall have the streaming of Taylor v Brandon Wilcox, and we'll try and make sure we have somebody there to change the cameras around from end to end. But apart from that, it's good night from me, from Dumfries, at the end of another long day of English mixed doubles and English senior championships. Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, we have, as I say, Taylor against Brandon Wilcox and Fowler Jagey against Reese and Martin. So that's all for tonight, and hopefully you shall join in and look out on the ECA Facebook page for full results of today's games. Once I get home, back in time to get an internet connection and get the things input into Facebook. But hopefully we shall have a good audience tomorrow morning to see the semi-conclusion of this competition, and as I say, final at 1 o'clock, first round at 9 o'clock. Good night from Dumfries.